The Massachusetts chapter of the NRA filed a complaint against Governor Charlie Baker and Attorney General Maura Healey last week. The 33-page complaint argues that the state's assault weapons ban should be void and unenforceable, as it is based on a definition of assault weapons that is completely made up and political, which is especially true after Healey closed the so-called copycat weapon loophole this past summer. Healey is already facing a separate lawsuit over the ban. The suit also names the state police as defendants on the grounds the hostility towards Massachusetts gun owners has, quote, grown to be intolerable. And it's true, it really has. Healey has made several press statements about the ban, saying it has completely stopped the sale of assault rifles. Maybe it's because she's made the rifles, anything that looks like the rifles, and anything with a detachable magazine as 100% illegal to own, purchase, or sell. Healey and Baker both argue that the ban is in support of the Second Amendment. I don't think they know what that means. A new bill has been introduced by New Hampshire Democrats that aims to make it illegal to carry a gun or even leave it locked in your car so long as you're voting in a state, federal, or even local election. It would make carrying a gun to the polls in otherwise gun-friendly New Hampshire a felony. It has never been illegal to carry a gun to the polls in New Hampshire, and there hasn't been a single report of any incidents. Critics argue the bill is less about safety and more about trying to discourage gun owners from voting. The FBI just released a report on the new background check law that went into effect in Washington state last year. The law requires a background check for all private sales. Their findings are that the law is completely ineffective, no one gives a shit, and no one follows it. In fact, the law accounted for only 2% of the state's total background checks. Legislators had expected to see 40% based on a Harvard study that has been debunked over and over and over. Unfortunately, it seems Washington state is good at backing things that don't work, as the state legislation is scheduled to hear 2 new laws this week that could impose licensing and registration for so-called assault weapons and large-capacity magazines. According to House Bill 1387, anyone who owns, sells, buys, or even transports an assault rifle or large-capacity magazine would have to register with the state and apply for a special state license that would have to be renewed or updated anytime a rifle or magazine changes hands. On top of that, any guns or magazines handed over to the police would have to be immediately destroyed. House Bill 1122 would require guns to be locked up whenever they are not in direct use and could potentially imprison people for unlocked firearms under the guise of public safety. Until next week, that's 2A Today.